Hey guys, here we are in round 2, Canelo versus Liam Smith fight. First round, we kind of saw that Canelo lacks defense sometimes. Sometimes he does some really good things, controlling his opponent or pivoting outside, but he's not always responsible with it. He does pay attention to his opponent a lot, so he learns from his mistakes sometimes. But generally, you don't want to be learning from those kinds of mistakes, controlling your opponent when you move outside, because what if they just catch you cold, and knock you out? They catch you with a big punch. That's not something that you always get to learn from. So always being responsible with your defense after throwing punches is at the utmost importance, especially when you're going to be fighting top guys like Gennady Golovkin, if we ever should get to see that fight. Another thing that he does do well, the feinting. He uses a lot of feinting. He needs to kind of turn the feints into probes and look for offense like that rather than committing to the feints, because anybody with like a decent active guard or a decent static defense, like hands held high, kind of low, they're going to be able to counter him and still maintain defense for the feint as if it was a real punch, much like Gennady Golovkin. But let's see what else he does do well, because he does do a lot of things really well. There he goes, starts off with the jab again. Right there, we see it again. Look how low his hand is right here when he throws this left hook, and he completely telegraphs it. He does kind of bring it a little lower than usual, but he completely telegraphs the punch, and Liam Smith, not even being that great of a fighter, he's able to see it coming and get out of the way of it. He does, even though he falls off balance, he follows it up with another punch, and see how he takes that angle off the right hand? Boom, and then takes the angle, slides off. That's exactly what you need to do after every single punch or combination. If you're not going to control your opponent, God forbid you hold them, but if you, put your hand on their head or, roll out, you just need to do something like that to stop yourself from being in danger of punching. Jab, and he stands in front of him, kind of eats a left hook right there. He doesn't use his head movement there at all, and kind of just gets hit with a punch for no good reason. And it was actually through his defense. There we go again. The fake jab kinda to the body shot, and then he finds an uppercut there. He does do something pretty good here. Like, that hook is not exactly like a real hook, but he finds a second open punch in there. So remember in the first round he was only throwing the body shots, the 2 body shots. Now this time he followed it up and increased it to 2 head shots, constantly looking for more offense. And then again, so that's really good that he's using his eyes to find the openings for his offense. Again, throwing a lot of hard punches. They're not landing the cleanest. I think that one might be pretty clean. That one's a clean one. And then I think he touches them right there, makes him think something's coming, lands a body shot. All right, those are pretty good. And then controls him with the jab on the way out. That's good. Let's watch the whole thing again. Even when he controls him with that jab, he throws it out there real hard, throws a body shot, and then throws a controlling jab. He's putting a lot of energy into those punches, even just his feints. Maybe that's why he kind of runs out of energy mid-fight. That's like a Canelo trademark too. And that's another bonus that you get from using probes and feinting, is that you don't use as much energy setting your punches up. Anything land there? Throws a hook, yeah, and then Liam Smith catches him with a shot. Yeah, and that's why you don't just throw punches at professional fighters. You always want to probe and make them think something's coming. You know, you always want to, you know, I'll say be cute with them. You never just want to commit to punches. Like even Liam Smith, like right here, this little uppercut, that's not a real punch, right? And then he throws the second punch, like, again, just before that, boom, throws a body shot and then tries to come up top with the hook, gives him another one, gets his guard back, control him after he misses with the uppercut. That was good. The things that Liam Smith is not doing, by the way, controlling Canelo after he throws punches. He never does that. So it's not like Liam Smith is doing more good things than Canelo. That's certainly not the case. He's definitely still losing this fight. But those are just some good examples of things that Canelo needs to work on too. You know, not committing so hard to his feints. And right here, like these punches right here, he, you know, like wild looping left hook, brings his hands down. He has no guard whatsoever. He throws that punch. And then this left hook, I don't even know if it lands, but he's just winging these punches. And even if they were to land, they would be basically only arm punches, no power. But they still take a lot of effort to throw, to swing his hand in there. Again, Canelo not using, after he throws his combination, not using head movement, not stepping out because he threw the left hand as his last punch, not stepping out to his own right, not using head movement, just stands right there and gets caught with a big shot. You know, not a big shot, but a very solid, clean jab. And if you watch that in real time, you know, you're kind of just like, why did he get hit with that? You know, there's not a good reason for that. Again, committing to his jabs hard. I think that, you know, I don't know if it's that he doesn't respect his opponents or he doesn't think that it should be that difficult to beat somebody, but it's a mental thing. Again, he's got him on the ropes, right? And there's not really very many punches he can throw moving that direction. He kind of just gets caught with a jab. He does kind of do that right. He leaves his hand out there to control his head, but he doesn't do it. He just basically gets timed really well right there, because as you see, as he closes the ring off right here, there's only one opportunity. Like, you know exactly when the punch is going to come because the ring just winds up being completely cut off and you're just in perfect range. And he just times him really well. And another talk about that is even if he tried to get his hand back, he's not going to be able to do it in time. So he needed to use some head movement or something, but it's not that big of a deal. You know, he doesn't fight moving backwards a lot, and I think he might just be, you know, letting Liam Smith lead at that point to add to his craft. I think that's something that he usually does in a lot of his fights, you know, for experience. Or maybe he's just resting because he had thrown all those punches. And again, right here, throws that leading left hook. Let's get the start of it again. Oh, he kind of just whips it out there. No power, but it makes Liam Smith do the, you know, the full guard, crumple down on himself, and not really be in a position to punch back. But look at this left hook. You know, is he really going to ever knock somebody out with that punch? You know, the guy has his guard up. It's not going to hit him perfectly clean. His arm is completely stretched out, and he's just kind of winging his arm, you know. And then what happens? He doesn't control him, even though he's moving back, and you can kind of just guess that that he's not going to be punching or, like, coming back with punches. He should still do something, you know, show some respect for boxing. Some feinting. That was good. Times his jab perfectly. And I think Liam Smith still blocks the punch. And then, bam, because Canelo doesn't have any defense. Like, he looks like he has a good guard when he's fighting, but when he throws punches, he just commits to them, like, and throws punches as hard as he can with every single punch, and he kind of gets caught on the top of the head. He might roll it. I don't know. It's really close, but it doesn't matter because this is Liam Smith that's in front of him. Like, he's a good fighter for sure. He's decent, you know, probably like C-. But he shouldn't. If Canelo's going to be fighting really high-level guys, he's got to work on this defense. Good shot. The referee's giving him shit right there, and maybe deservedly so, but because his trunks don't look like they're high, but it was like on the bell line. I'm fine with that shot. But picking up where the openings are, really smart and important. Throws a hook, and then even though this hook from Liam Smith would have caught him if he countered it, if he threw it like, I don't know how he's missing that. Maybe Canelo pulled his head back. You can't really get any depth on here. But he after he throws the punch, he does something really smart. He dips down and then jumps back, you know, and that's the kind of defensive responsibility that you need to have every time you punch. There he is. He misses the jab and then controls his head. That's not exactly the way you want to do it. You don't want to just push their head down, but if you miss the jab and you get your arm, you kind of want to, well, let's go back. I'll time it. So see how he pulls him in. Before he pulls him in, see right here, he has it. He kind of wants to push his arm, push Liam Smith's head to the left, right? And then push him off and then circle out to the right. He doesn't want to just pull him and bring him in like this. Oh, that's why right there. Because even though he's kind of controlling his head, he's not changing his angle or like not changing his angle. He's not putting him out of line of the punch, and he kind of just eats a shot. That's some good inside work right there when he's trying to create space. He lands a big punch, but this is really interesting right here. This is exactly where he just absolutely never wants to be. You never want your opponent, no matter how low or like how bad of a puncher they might seem to be. You never want them to be able to just throw punches at you, because they're gonna be able to set something up. And look at him using the taking away his defense right here. You know, they stole that from that Lomachenko highlight. Catches them with the right hand. Great freaking shot. Probing, keeping him occupied with the left hand right there. He does eat some counters, and that's what Canelo is trying to do. But you don't ever want your opponent to just be freely throwing punches at you without controlling your opponent at all. Like, you don't want to be a brave or a tough guy in there. There's no reason. But at least he's not holding, you know, like however many like hundreds of other fighters would. He does eat some shots, but he comes back and moves, and that's good. It's more entertaining that way. Some feinting on the ropes. Liam Smith feinting. Does he have a shoulder problem? Like, I just want to point this out real quick. It was just really weird. Throws these punches, boom. And he does this right there. You see that with his shoulder? He like flips his arm out. Is that supposed to be a feint, or is his shoulder messed up? Anyway, whatever. I kind of got that impression from him that he was maybe fighting injured, but here he is again, Canelo on the ropes. No defense, his hands aren't up, and Liam Smith is feinting, probing. He gives him a feint low. Canelo reacts to it, unfortunately for him. Then he feints with the left. Canelo does do something really good and gets his hand out there as he moves down, but because Liam Smith does something really good, he doesn't fall in on his punch. He keeps his balance. He's able to still land a huge right hand. And that's why it's so important to control your opponent. And that's, you know, even though he uses some control for the first right hand and gets under it, He stops controlling him, lets him stand in front of him, and he catches him with the big punch. And you're not going to get away with that with higher level fighters. Again, if Liam Smith wasn't committing to all those punches, he might have been able to land them. If he probed him a little bit, he might have touched him on the chin a little bit with the jab, but I don't know. But Canelo being pretty brave in there. Good round, fun round to watch. Makes Canelo really exciting. You know, maybe he has more ability to control his opponents than he's showing in this fight. Maybe he's just like, oh, I only need to do so much and it's okay. I don't know. Who knows? But he's not going to be able to get away with those things when he's fighting people like Gennady Golovkin. He's probably not even going to get away with it when he's fighting Chavez Jr., which is going to be a good fight, judging by the way that this is shaping up. If he lays on the ropes against Chavez Jr., who doesn't commit to all his shots, who does have a pretty good feint game, and it'll be a great fight to watch, for sure. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks, guys.